Hiya. So tomorrow, after 2 weeks off for the Christmas break, I go back to work. So it is time to get back into my meal prepping and all of that stuff, which, I don't know, are we excited about that? Not really, but that's okay. So I'm just going to chuck on some hard-boiled eggs to boil. I'm going to do my meal prep for my lunch with you guys today. And I'll also cut up some veg because I like to do like hard-boiled eggs and veggie sticks. Tends to be my my go-to snack, if you will. So eggs in here, I'm just going to get them on. Okay. Also, side note, always put your hard-boiled eggs in the water with the water cold, otherwise they will crack. Anyway, that's my little hot tip for you there. Now, the meal prep that I'm going to do for lunch is I've got some Italian sausage, I've got a spicy arrabbiata, I'm certain I'm pronouncing that wrong, sauce, and a really nice handmade tagliatelle. So I'm going to take all the sausages out of the casing, break it all up, put it in the sauce with pasta. So it's going to be actually super, super simple, but I wanted to ease myself back into the meal prepping because I'm usually pretty good about meal prepping for work, but after having a couple of weeks off in the Christmas season, I've got lazy. So I'm going to make it as simple as I can. And I will also be cutting up for my veggie sticks, my carrot, celery, capsicums, and my baby cucumbers. We'll get all of that done so that we're ready for tomorrow. Yay. We've got this. Okay, so I think what I might do is I might get this pasta sauce going and done. And then once the eggs are done, I can then cook the pasta in that pot. Otherwise, I'm dirtying a whole nother pot and I really just don't want to do that because I still have to wash it all. What sort of stuff do you guys like to do for your meal prep? I'm always looking for inspiration and ideas because what I tend to do is I seem to hyperfixate on one thing and I'll do it for weeks on end and then I'll get super sick of it. Like the last hyperfixation I had was vodka pasta. And God, I swear I did that to absolute death. But, you know, also loved it. So there's that. I think I might also only do 4 out of these 6 sausages. I don't think I need all 6. So I might get a bag, put these ones in the freezer. But, I don't know. Oh. After having 2 weeks off, I'm not in it yet. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. It's gonna be fine. All right, I'm just gonna heat up my frying pan. Yeah, there we go. And get a wooden spoon. I bought this brand of sauce before. I'll show you, it's the olive branch. I bought this brand of sauce before, but I've never actually had this one, so. Oh, that's spicy. Oh, it is spicy. That's nice. I tell you what though, given that it's that spicy, I might cut that down a bit, do half that and half just a normal tomato sauce, or pasta sauce, so it's not quite as spicy. And yeah, because that's so spicy, but I'm so glad I did not get the hot Italian sausage with that. Jeepers creepers, that would have blown my head off. Anyway, give me 1 second. Let me see what other tomato sauces I've got to dilute that a bit, because she is spicy. I managed to find this Leggo's tomato and Barossa Shiraz, which is super delicious. So I'll do half the spicy, half this. It's going to be gold. Anyway, our pan would have heated up enough. We're going to pop our sausage in. We'll break this up. And then all we're going to do is add the sauce, any salt and pepper if we feel it needs it. And then that's pretty much our sauce for our pasta done. So super simple, but I think it's going to be really nice. And this will do me probably 4 days. I tend to meal prep for 3 to 4 days, depending on what it is I'm doing. And then Friday, I'll typically just do leftovers from whatever dinner was at some point during the week. But yeah. So far the eggs are on, pasta sauce is cooking, so progress is being made. Alrighty, our hot Italian, it's not hot Italian sausage, it's mild, sorry. Our sausage is pretty much cooked. As I said, I'm going to put in about half of that spicy sauce, because it's very spicy. Whoa, yeah, she's spicy. And that Barossa Shiraz sauce. Hoping that they work together, they should. Turn the heat down on this, it's a bit hot. Then we'll give it, once everything's heated through, we'll give it a taste and see if it needs any extra seasoning or anything. Do you know what would have been so good in this? And if I had thought about it, I would have done it. And that is some fresh basil. Would have been absolutely delightful. Anyway, I don't have any. Here we are. All right, hang on, let me get a spoon. Let's give this a try. I fear it's going to need some sort of like salt element. Ooh, that's nice. Yes, it does need a tiny bit of salt. So what I'm thinking is just a bit of Veggie, which is the good stuff. Hang on, I've licked that spoon. Let's do a different one. Not much, just a little. That was probably about half a teaspoon of Veggie. Let's give this a mix. Hey Siri, set timer for 10 minutes. My eggs are starting to boil, so 10 minutes and you'll get hard-boiled eggs. Perfect. And also that spice level, much better. Oh, that sauce straight off the bat would have just blown your head off. That was spicy. Anyway, so that's our sauce done, which is great. Once the eggs are done, as I said, I'll pop the pasta in that pot. And then I'm only using 2 pots instead of 3, because I just can't be bothered dealing with that. But I think what we might do is while we're waiting for the eggs, let's go back over and start cutting up our veg. Okay, I figured before I start cutting up these veggies, I found today this Pepsi Max with strawberries and cream. Let's give this a crack, because I'm thirsty. And I need caffeine. And this will hopefully do it. Oh, that's actually really good. That's what that looks like, by the way. That's really good. Do you know how you can level that up? Vodka, just saying. Sorry, guys. You could, though. Anyway, while everything is cooking, let's cut some veggies up just to sort of save us a bit of time later. Do you know what I always struggle with? Finding things to chat about when I'm doing this sort of thing. I didn't get a, whoops. I forgot to put a bag in the, we've got a like food scrap bin here that we have to use, like it's part of the council regulations. And I got the bin out ready, knowing that we'd have food scraps and stuff, but do you reckon I put a fresh bag in it? No, I didn't. So let's do that real quick. Anyway, but that's an absolute win. But as is with everything that I really enjoy, when companies like Pepsi or Coke and stuff come out with like new flavors, they're always limited. And then they go and you can't get them again, and it just sucks because they're actually really good. So I'm hoping that's not limited edition. It doesn't say on the can, but I wonder if that's an Australian thing, because it says it's inspired by Allen's, which is an Australian lolly brand, or at least I think it's an Australian lolly brand. So maybe it's an Australian exclusive Pepsi flavour. Wouldn't that be exciting? Australians never get anything exclusive. We're always usually last to get that sort of thing. Oh well. How's that? Yeah, no, we've still got 3.5 minutes left on those eggs. So as you can see, I've been faffing for the last 7 minutes or so, but that's okay. We're almost done. Almost done. I need to sharpen this knife, it's very blunt. Might just switch over to the big one. We did Woolies click and collect. That's how we just decided to do all the groceries today. And usually Woolies is really good. I find that they always pick produce that is pretty good. I don't know if it was just that crap capsicums or if we just had someone that is not particularly very good at picking, but these capsicums are not the best. So I think I'm gonna have to try and get through these in the next 2-ish days because I don't really think they'll last very long, but that's okay. I like capsicum, so I'll just smash through them first, really. But all I'm doing, you can't actually see it, I'm just gonna cut up all my veg and put them in a container. So then it's just really easy for me to grab it in the morning when I'm making my lunches. That's the capsicums done. Cut up a couple of carrots, probably about 3-ish carrots, I reckon. We'll do it. I always save the carrot tops because I've got 2 dogs and they love crunched on carrots. I think it's the greatest thing ever. Puppies, you want carrot? Come here. Who wants it? They're not going to come now. Come here, Gizzy. Oh, here comes one. Oh, you want some carrot? There you go, good boy. And there's the other one. Good boy. I don't know if you could see, I don't think you could have seen them because they didn't jump up like they normally do. They're not the most well-trained dogs. You might, however, hear some crunching. That's okay, they're not well-trained, but they're very cute. They are very cute. And in a minute, I actually need to get the ice bath for the eggs ready to stop them from cooking, so I'll get that in a second. But other than that, we're doing pretty well on time. And hopefully I'll have all of this done in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. That's all right. We've got 1 minute left. I'm gonna put a hold on this and I'm gonna do the ice bath. I'll be right back. How good is this? Hubby's doing the ice bath for me, so I didn't have to stop chopping. Also ladies, or even gents, not ladies specific, I shouldn't say that. If you are into any sort of content creating, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, whatever it may be, get yourself a hubby or a girlfriend or a wife or whatever who is supportive, because he is. Oh, do you want more carrot? There you go, Gizzy. He's my biggest supporter. Does things like making my ice baths for my hard-boiled eggs so that I don't have to stop what I'm doing. And my timer's just gone off. Right, so it is time to get our hard-boiled eggs. Let me get them ready. All right, I've tipped out the bulk of the hot water. I shall just dump them into this icy water. Then I'm going to refill this pot, get it back on the stove, because then we can start doing our pasta. So let's get this going again. I'm not too worried about it because all it's had in there was hard-boiled eggs, so I don't feel it needs to be washed. All right, back on the stove we go. There we go. All right, back to this. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, he is my biggest supporter of all of this. I'm not very technologically gifted by any stretch of the imagination, so he quite often helps me with the editing and figuring out what apps and stuff to use and all that sort of thing. He's good at that sort of thing. Me, on the other hand, definitely not so much. I'm going to put these eggs over here. They're just in the way a little bit. So I'm very lucky in that respect. So that's my advice to you if you want to do something like this, and I strongly recommend that if you do want to do it, you should do it, because it is a whole heap of fun. It's also very daunting the first time you have a crack at it, I'm not gonna lie. Especially for some reason, it felt like my first proper YouTube video, which was the jam one that I did yesterday. That I felt like that was my first proper one. That seemed to be the most overwhelming for me. I don't know why. It just was. I think it was the biggest, and I put the most amount of thought and effort into that. Maybe that's what it was. But anyway, he was a huge help with that one. He helped me edit it and do all the things. He's good like that. He's actually very good like that. Anyway, I think I've run out of things to ramble about for now. So I shall be back when our pasta's ready, and we will just put everything together, I think. What do you reckon? Let's do that. The other thing I think I might cut up is I've got this block of Edam cheese left. I might cut this up into cubes. So then I've also got some cheese cubes to take as well with the egg and the veggies, you know, a little bit of extra protein, bit of dairy. That, and it was just sitting in the fridge, it needs to be used. So we shall use it up. I've just moved the pasta to the bigger burner, or the pasta water. The pasta's not in yet, but just to get that sort of moving a bit quicker. But yeah, so just decided on a bit of a whim just to cut up some cheese, get it out of the fridge, and also, who doesn't like to snack on cheese? I certainly do. And this is actually really nice cheese. It's the first time I bought this one. I'll show you what it is. It's this one. It's Alpine Edam. As I said, it's the first time I bought it, I'm pretty sure. And I'll definitely be getting it again. It's really nice cheese. It's nice just to eat straight as it is, but I've also used it in pastas and on toasties and things. It's really good. So I do rate it for cooking and just straight up eating. So, but anyway, cheese cubes. So I'll go put those in the fridge. And then I'm still waiting for the pasta water to boil. Then what we've got to do is peel the eggs, pasta will cook, then everything just needs to be put together, because that's the last two things, because everything else is done. I've finished cutting out the veg, I've cut out the cheese. We're on the home stretch now, we're almost there. Okay. The eggs are peeled, and I'm telling you, they were the most uncooperative eggs. Like, some of them have got huge chunks taken out because they were that uncooperative. Anyway, they're done now. Our water's boiling, so let's move back over there and let's get our pasta on and let's finish this off. Water is boiling, fresh pasta is going to go in. 2 to 3 minutes, it says, and then this is cooked, so that's good, that's gonna be quick. Also, I didn't record this, but just know that I absolutely salted the pasta water. And if you don't salt the pasta water, what are you doing? And then all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put our sauce back on the heat because that's been off for a bit. Turn this back on, I'll heat this up, and then I'll put the pasta straight into the sauce, and then we shall dish it up into our containers that we'll take to work. But yeah, just separate all your pasta. But we're going really well, which is nice. We're getting there, which is good, because I would like to sit down and read my book. It's actually a very good book. It's a very good book. If I remember, I'll tell you what it is, because I think it's called The Mysterious Baker on Rue de Paris, or Paris de Rue. I'll find out. I'll let you know. But it's such a good book. It's a very cute read. It's cutesy, which is not at all what my usual read is, but I'm enjoying it. Anyway, so I'm gonna let that go for another minute or two. Then we're gonna pop it into our sauce. And then I reckon we're pretty much done and ready to put it all into our meal prep containers. So how good. Okay, I'm pretty happy that our pasta is done. So I'm just gonna take it straight from this hot water and put it straight into the sauce, because it's going to actually bring some pasta water with it, which you do always want that. You want to have some of that pasta water because the starch means that it just clings to that pasta, which again is just nice. So, is that all of it? Yeah. Let me just move this over here so you can see. Move this out the way. Deal with that in a minute. So then you can sort of see. Can you see? Let me put you down a bit. There you go. We'll just toss this pasta in this. We'll just coat it all. Look, my glasses are fogging up. But how good does that look? And this will do me, like I said, 4-ish days for my meal prep for work, and it was honestly just so easy, which is really what you want, because you don't want to be spending forever on your meal prep. So I'll take you back over to the bench and let's get it all done. Okie dokie. Oh, this needs to come up a bit. There we go. Okie dokie. It is time to dish it all up. I did have a wee sample off camera, you know, quality control. Can confirm is delicious. So now what we're going to do is just portion this out into 4 containers. But this looks delightful. I think I put, oh, made a mess of that one. I think I put slightly too much in the first container. I'll have a look, I'll judge it. But now I don't have to think about my lunches for the rest of the week, which is just always a win. And then all I've got to do is my breakfast for tomorrow, which is just going to be oats, yogurt, and my homemade jam. So I'll show you that, but there's no real prep required for that because it's all done. It's just putting it into the container really. So I don't need to prep that as such. That'll be good. Anyway, once this is all done and I've got everything out, I will come back and I'll show you everything so you can see what I shall be taking to work with me. Okay, the very last thing I need to prep is breakfast. Now I will only do 2 of these at a time, just because I don't think they last as well. But all I'm going to do is a couple of spoonfuls. These are just rolled oats, just straight plain rolled oats, nothing fancy about them. Just done like 3 dessert spoonfuls. And I will actually, I think I will weigh this out just to make my life a little bit more simple. And I'm going to gauge this actually, just so I can keep them relatively the same. Yeah, so that's about 130 grams of yogurt. That's 140. That's fine. It's only for me anyway. And then just with a teaspoon, I'll just give it a little bit of a stir, and I will add just a tiny bit of milk. If I think that it's all just a bit too thick, I'll add just a tiny. Actually, you know what? I don't think this is going to need it. No, I won't. But you can, if when you go to eat it in the morning, you do actually think, oh, it's a bit too thick, just add some milk into it. It'll be fine. And then all I'm going to put on top of this is a dollop of the fresh peach and vanilla jam that I made yesterday. And then that's honestly all breakfast is going to be. Okay. So this is going to be my lunch for the week. I've got cheese, boiled eggs, and veggie sticks that we've cut up. This will sort of be like morning, afternoon tea-ish. These are our pastas that we've prepped. This is my rolled oats, yogurt and fresh peach jam. Like I said, I've only done 2 of them because I just don't think they last as well if I did 4. I've got an iced coffee stick. I've got a Coke Zero there each day, and there'll also be a banana each day as well. But that's it. Meal prep for the week, pretty much all done. So that's it. It probably did take about an hour, but can I also say, faffing around and filming and stopping and starting and doing all of that sort of stuff, that does make it take a little bit longer. So if you're not doing that, it would actually probably go a lot quicker. And also, if I did the eggs and the pasta in different pots at the same time, that would have been quicker again. But I wanted to minimize the amount that I had to wash. So that's why I did it that way. But I'm going to pack all this up, pop it out into the fridge, and then come the morning, all I need to do is get a container for the veg cheese, not onion, and the eggs, and that's a 2-minute job. So this will make my life during the week much easier. So I do recommend spending an hour or so doing this every week if you've got the time and the inclination, because it certainly does make a big difference. But if you guys are interested in this sort of thing, I will come back next week and we'll do it all again, and we'll see what we come up with next week for meal prep. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you then. Bye guys.